Insufferable Eileen Gu comes under attack from NFL legend. Former NFL MVP Boomer Esiason has expressed his dissatisfaction with how Olympic athlete Eileen Gu presented herself during the 2026 Winter Games in Milan Cortina. Esiason, who was named MVP in 1998, voiced his disapproval of Gu's demeanor during her press conferences and interviews. Gu, a San Francisco native who represented China in the Winter Olympics, drew criticism from Esiason, who aired his views on the radio. In addition to his objection to Gu competing for China, Esiason also critiqued her conduct, particularly after an exchange with a reporter about her achievements. "If you listen to her, you're like, what?" Esiason told his one co-host Greg Jonotti. He further stated that he finds it difficult to listen to Gu during press conferences, despite acknowledging her appearance. "She's a very, very attractive woman and she's extremely bright, she went to Stanford," he said. "But if you listen to her post-participation interviews, she's insufferable. She is. It's hard to listen to. But then again, it's an individual sport and an individual person talking about herself as opposed to talking about her teammates or the support she receives." While Esiason conceded that Gu is exceptionally bright and prepared in her responses, the 64-year-old did not elaborate on why he found the Chinese star's behavior objectionable. A particularly notable exchange at the Milan Cortina Games occurred when a journalist questioned whether Gu viewed her results as 2 silvers gained or 2 golds lost. Dismissing the question with a laugh, the athlete highlighted the immense difficulty of securing Olympic medals whilst noting she was the most decorated women's Olympic freestyle skier. "I think that's an answer in and of itself," she responded. "How do I say this? Winning a medal at the Olympics is a life-changing experience for every athlete. Doing it 5 times is exponentially harder, because every medal is equally hard for me, but everybody else's expectations rise. The 2 medals lost situation, to be quite frank with you, I think is kind of a ridiculous perspective to take." Additionally, Gu described her mental approach, characterizing herself as pensive and very introspective. "I spend a lot of time in my head, and it's not a bad place to be. I journal a lot. I break down all of my thought processes. I think I apply a very analytical lens to my own thinking, and I modify it because it's so interesting," she explained to journalists. "You can control what you think. You can control how you think, and therefore, you can control who you are. And especially as a young person, I'm 22, so with neuroplasticity on my side, I can literally become exactly who I want to be. How cool is that? How empowering is that?" Gu left the Milan Cortina Games with 3 Olympic medals under her belt, 2 silver and 1 gold. The 22-year-old's collection of 6 gold or silver Olympic medals has made her the most decorated freestyle skier in history. In the theater of modern sports, greatness is no longer confined to the arena. It spills into timelines, talk shows, podcasts, and comment sections. It lives in headlines sharpened for clicks and opinions amplified for effect. When Olympic freestyle skiing champion Eileen Gu, globally recognized, fashion-forward, multilingual, and unapologetically ambitious, found herself labeled insufferable by an outspoken NFL legend during a televised segment, the remark did more than spark debate. It ignited a cultural conversation. The word itself, insufferable, is heavy. It implies arrogance, excess, a personality too large for the room. It's a word that rarely attaches itself to male athletes in quite the same way. And yet, there it was, hurled into the media bloodstream, attaching itself to one of the most marketable young athletes in the world. But beyond the soundbite lies something deeper, a clash not merely between 2 public figures, but between eras, expectations, and philosophies of fame. The collision of 2 sporting worlds. The NFL legend, known as much for his unfiltered commentary as for his on-field dominance, belongs to a generation that viewed athletic greatness through a specific lens: grit over gloss, humility over hype, performance over persona. In his era, endorsements followed achievement quietly. Media training meant saying less, not more. Eileen Gu, by contrast, emerged in a time when athletes are brands from the outset. Her identity is multidimensional: Olympic medalist, Stanford student, high-fashion model, cultural bridge between continents. She doesn't compartmentalize these roles, she integrates them. For her generation, authenticity includes ambition. Visibility is not vanity, it's strategy. So when the NFL veteran criticized her public persona, suggesting that her confidence crosses into arrogance, what he may have been reacting to was not her success, but her fluency in navigating modern fame. Confidence versus likability, the double standard. The criticism raises an uncomfortable question: when does confidence become too much? Sports history is filled with male athletes celebrated for bravado. They promise victory, predict dominance, and revel in their own mythology. Such declarations are often framed as competitive fire. When women project similar confidence, the language shifts. Words like diva, showy, or insufferable surface. Eileen Gu has never hidden her belief in herself. She speaks openly about her goals. She acknowledges her discipline. She embraces luxury fashion and elite academia without apology. In another athlete, this might be marketed as versatility. In her, it becomes polarizing. The NFL legend's critique, whether intended as constructive or confrontational, tapped into this tension. It wasn't just about personality. It was about how much space an athlete is allowed to take up. The burden of being more than an athlete. Part of what makes Gu compelling and controversial is that she transcends traditional sports archetypes. She doesn't fit neatly into one category. She competes fiercely on snow-covered slopes, then appears on magazine covers in couture. She discusses physics homework and sponsorship strategy in the same breath. For some observers, this hybridity feels empowering. For others, it feels performative. The NFL legend's criticism seemed rooted in a belief that athletes should prioritize sport above spectacle. Yet in today's ecosystem, the two are intertwined. Social media has flattened hierarchies. Endorsements fund training. Visibility fuels opportunity. Gu's approach reflects this reality. She is not merely competing, she is constructing a legacy in real time. Media amplification and the economy of outrage. It is important to consider how the comment gained traction. In the age of viral clips, nuance evaporates. A single adjective can define a news cycle. Insufferable becomes a headline. Context becomes optional. Talk shows thrive on tension. Podcasts trend on provocation. Social media algorithms reward engagement, not equilibrium.